A brand new RPG is on the App Store, Google Play Store, and PC. ROM Golden Age is on fire, and we decided to check it out to show you the successes, shortcomings, and how-tos. Welcome to Tokenize360. ROM, or Remember of Majesty, quite the name. Golden Age is a beautiful RPG with idle elements from a South Korean developer that has made other games in the space, such as Night Crows and Mir 4. In this video, we are going to check out the general look and feel of the game, how to get started, downloading and playing the game, gameplay and tips for leveling, finishing off with how to earn, and some final thoughts from me.
If you're on the PC, you're going to go to WinXplay.com, set up an account, and
Go to ROM Golden Age
and click the Play Now, and download on Windows. On Google Play or the App Store, super simple. Download it just like any other game. If you're playing with both the PC and a mobile device, make sure you log in with the same email. The look and feel of the game starts out actually pretty bleak. You start in a crypt, very gray, very cold, and dirty feel to it. As you play through the game, it gets a little bit brighter, more vibrant environments, still with that muted feel to it. The characters are kind of stoic, medieval, big swords and big weapons, as is typical of kind of an anime-esque genre. The graphics and characters are decently high. I would say the characters have a higher depth of quality than the monsters and environment. It definitely feels smooth playing through it, almost too smooth in that you can autoplay most features in the game. The biggest tip I can give as far as just general gameplay is always have your autoplay on. You can do 90% of actions you need to while you are autoplaying, gaining XP. So never stop that XP grind, you will need it. Let's go through classes and their stats. The warrior, as is typical, is tough, hard to kill, but also lower on the damage side, both in that you have to get to your enemy, hit your enemy, and the damage is not as good as the other classes. However, you may be able to leave it for longer periods of time, just grinding away, as it doesn't lose as much health as quickly. Moving on to the mage. It is an AoE character. Area of effect, built for doing damage to multiple enemies at once. Very useful in some situations, more higher level thing. When you're grinding up to be able to start earning in the game, not the quickest way. That brings us to the archer. The archer is a single target damage dealer and high at that. You can initiate combat from a range, and the way XP works is the more damage you do, if there's multiple attackers, the more XP you get from that monster. Being able to hit them before the melee guys get in there is definitely an advantage. Melee guys, even if they get in there sometimes before the creature is dead, they've only 1 or 2 swipes, and sometimes those are misses. So you're losing out on a lot of XP just from the range factor itself. Not to mention that the damage stats should be higher for the archer. Full disclosure, I have only leveled up the knight. I kind of wish I had chosen an archer in some regards just for quicker leveling. When you're on autoplay, it's all about setting up your character right and having the potions and fighting the level of monster combination in order to leave the game for the time period you want. As an example, you could be in a higher level area grinding without looking at your game for a couple hours with 1,000 potions, or you could be in a lower level area for 8 hours without having to look at it with 1,000 potions because you're not going down in health. If you get killed, there are 2 main drawbacks. One is it stops the combat, so you will no longer be grinding XP, and another is there is an XP slash that happens, usually about 4%, when you get killed. Very detrimental when you're leveling, because oftentimes you're at a fraction of a percent per kill, so getting 4% of a level taken away is actually a big chunk. Thankfully, you have a lot of free restores each day. You can get that XP
XP back just with a couple clicks of a button at a healer, but still better to survive all the way through your grind when you're away from the keyboard. You want to operate menus while your character is grinding away. You can get potions from the general merchant. The autoplay feature does come with a power saving mode after a few minutes, so your computer or phone doesn't have to work as hard. In order to auto use any skill, you just drag it down. Starting off with your character here, you have your character details. I have mainly been putting everything into strength just so that I can get more damage output. This damage reduction and critical damage reduction, I believe, is for enemies on you. Same for dexterity, only it's ranged instead of melee, and it's evasion instead of just damage reduction. Intelligence, magic attack, and accuracy. Here's where you can see a list of all your current buffs. Pops out with a tab, very nice. A lot of detail on the various ways things affect things. The UI is so extensive. You have the local map. You also have a world map. This does have the level of monsters that you'll find there, so very useful when you want to pick the particular level set for however long you're going to be away. You can follow the main quest line, which will get you a ton of XP, especially early on. The drawback is you have to fight higher and higher level monsters very quickly if that's the main thing you're going to be doing. It gets very hard around level 40 and yields less and less rewards. Early on, it can be 40 or 50% of a level that you get just by slaying 30 monsters. Later on, it goes down to 10%. That means you have to do 10 quests in order to get a level, and oftentimes you only have 3 or 4 of those quests before you need to move on to a higher level area. Therefore, you're fighting higher level monsters before you level up. Go to map, choose a destination. We're going to choose something a little bit harder. Here is the primary gameplay, in my opinion, of this game, making your character stronger. Most of these tabs here in this menu are about that. Any one of these features by itself doesn't have a whole lot of weight. Doing all of them in combination makes your character more and more powerful. There's no one silver bullet that's going to make an ultra powerful character. Guardians have buffs, but also decreased mining time, which has to do with the earning element in this game. You can see there's a huge difference between grades of Guardian. The higher the rank of costume, the better the stats it gives you. This is the primary thing you do with unwanted equipment. You go to item collection. You get buffs for completing sets. This does burn the item, so make sure it's something you don't actually want to wear. One critique I will have is in a lot of these menus, when you're scrolling, it goes way too far. The main thing you're gonna craft early on is just enhance armor and weapon scrolls. You might save up a bunch of chests, craft them together with a little bit of gold, and get better items. You can get scrolls that unlock certain skills. Drag these down to your hotbar. Dungeons will appear from time to time. The bosses in them are very hard to defeat. I was grinding on one for like 15 minutes, probably 50 other players, and we weren't able to beat the boss. There's more and more intricate stuff the higher level you get. This game takes a long time to level up, especially once you hit about level 40. Here's a shop. There's some good items in here, but spending money to get the items in the shop might not be the best ROI, as you would have to spend quite a bit in order to actually make that big of a difference. The marketplace, you can get some higher level equipment here, and also selling equipment. That will also be one of the ways you can earn the token. You will need some dia in order to mint tokens. Dia and crystals are things you will need. Earning in a nutshell: get to level 60 and start mining. Sell some equipment on the marketplace to get dia, or buy it outright if it's worth the ROI. Access this tab and mint your CROM tokens. Then convert your CROM tokens to stablecoins. Don't forget to check out Tokenize360 and our Discord. We have a lively play to earn chat in there, always discussing the latest and greatest methods for earning and best ROI for your time. I'm Freelander. Like and subscribe. As always, happy hunting.